Says who? Says who? When a dog, just a second, if I get a cut on my leg, my dog licks my cut. That's what animals do. They lick in order to heal. And there's some people who say that they have healing properties in those tongues.
This is the plaintiff, Violar Jones. She took her dog to the defendant's pet grooming shop to get Cobi's hair cut, and the defendant used a razor and razor burned poor Cobi's testicles. Cobi hasn't been his normal self for months. The defendants won't even answer her calls, so she is suing the unscrupulous defendant for the $113.16 she's owed for vet bills and grooming costs. This is the defendant, Ashley Rodersheimer. She says the plaintiff left a message complaining their dog got burned, then filed a lawsuit on the very same day. If she did anything to injure the plaintiff's dog, she would have rectified the situation, but was never given the opportunity to, and the plaintiff refuses to send her the vet bills and is just being spiteful. She's accused of burning Cobi's private parts. The defendant has filed a countersuit for $950 for loss of business and defamation.
All parties, please raise your right hand.
What you are about to witness is real. The participants are not actors. They are actual litigants with a case pending in civil court. Both parties have agreed to drop their claims and have their cases settled here before Judge Marilyn Milian in our forum, the People's Court.
People's Court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Marilyn Milian is presiding. Litigants have been sworn, Your Honor.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome, ma'am.
Ms. Jones, you have a pup. Is it a puppy? How old is this dog?
He'll be 1 next month on the 14th.
What kind of dog is Cobi?
He's a Yorkshire Terrier.
Okay. So you took Toby to be groomed by Petscapes, the defendant's company, and the first time things went okay, but what went wrong the second time?
So I went to the groomer, and again, the lady's like, he did good, he did way better this time, wasn't no problems. So I get in the car to take my mama to her doctor's appointment, and Cobi, he literally sits with me. So I moved my seatbelt, and then he just yelled. So then I picked her up and I looked at his area, and it was red. So I called them back immediately. Didn't nobody answer. Called them back again. Nobody answered, and that's when I left my voicemail. Didn't nobody call me back until that Friday. With, mind you, I called them Monday, the day it happened, and then I called them Tuesday twice. Nobody answered the phone. I left another voicemail. Nobody got back to me until Friday.
When did you file the case? On the day it happened, or did you?
No,
I'm just curious.
I filed on 7/23. I have my paperwork right here. 7/23.
And what was the day? And what was the day of the service?
7/20.
Okay, so it was 3 days later. And then when they call you back, what did they say to you, and what do you say to them?
They left. I didn't answer the phone because I've been calling you Monday and Tuesday. I called you all together, I'm gonna say 4 times. Nobody has got back to me or anything.
Okay, Ms. Rodersheimer, why wasn't anybody calling her back?
I was out of town at the time, and my groomer informed me about the incident, and then she let her know that, or called her back the next day, and she said that she didn't answer. So then she called her when she was in Friday, and she left a long voicemail, and then she never heard back. And then I wasn't going to be due back until Monday, which I had planned to call and rectify the situation Monday when I got back in town. Well,
what ends up happening, and you know, they say a picture is worth 1,000 words. I mean, did you ever see the pictures or no?
No, unfortunately, I tried to call to the vet to get the vet bill, because that's usually what happens, is you call the vet and then you get the bill and then the insurance would cover it.
Usually. How often does this happen?
I've never had this happen, but I've talked to other groomers where they let me know in this instant what usually would happen. And then, so I called the vet directly to ask for the bill, and they denied me the right to see the bill because she would not allow them to release it.
What am I looking at right there? Well, I know what I'm looking at. I'm looking at poor Cobi's genitalia, but Is every color that I am seeing there a color that's from, I mean, is there any medicine or something on top of it right now, or is that how it looks?
There's no medicine on top of him right now. That picture is a picture of no medicine.
Okay. There's no dignity in these photos. Hold on. Could you tell there was something wrong with Cobi? Because you took some video.
I just take pictures and videos of everything. This is the day that...
Let me see this video. This is the day you picked him up?
Yes, ma'am, and I took him to the...
yeah, that's not normal.
No.
Yeah, it's not normal for a dog to be hunched over like that, and it's clear the dog's in pain. Look, accidents happen, all right? But mercifully, it wasn't worse. According to the vet, he had a nick on his nipple and another nick on his scrotum. And neither were bleeding at the time, but the scrotum was super irritated. So the vet just, washed and put antibiotic and gave you a steroid spray. And how is Cobi doing now?
He is doing good now. He's back to his normal self. But it took about 3 weeks for him to get back to his normal self, and that's not Cobi.
Yeah. And then have you had Cobi back to a different groomer? Have you groomed Cobi since then? You're not planning on grooming Cobi ever again?
No. I will figure it out myself.
Okay.
Ma'am, he will not go back to no groomers.
Okay. All right. Ms. Rodensheimer, you have a counterclaim against her. You're saying, oh, if she'd just given us a chance, we would have made it right. But that doesn't sound like you because you've got a counterclaim against her. You want her to pay you $950. What happened there? You're suing for lost wages in the dog daycare, lost wages in grooming, defamation of character, cleaning fees of $10 and a babysitter for $50. What on earth are you talking about?
That's for today because we weren't able to work because of the court. So we're losing out of the money with the daycare, the grooming, and then I'm homeschooling my kids right now, so they would have been with me at work, and I had to pay for a babysitter today, and they had to take on those roles that I had written out for the teaching. And then also... Right,
but why would I ever make her pay you if your groomer accidentally nicked her dog?
I highlighted scrotum, suspect nick and clipper burn from grooming, mild inflammation secondary to the puppy licking at the area. So it's actually caused because of the secondary licking of the area. And it's even noted.
Says who? Says who? When a dog, just a second, if I get a cut on my leg, my dog licks my cut. That's what animals do. They lick in order to heal. And there's some people who say that they have healing properties in those tongues. But that's not, of course a dog's going to lick it. What would you do if somebody nicked your testicles? You'd be licking them if you could. I mean, come on.
Well, it's a secondary.
Yes, but it happens.
Especially
but for getting nicked.
I'm sorry, I don't want to jump in.
Who is that with you?
That's the groomer. She was there. She's the one who groomed.
Come on back in. Come on back in. And we need to swear you in. Go ahead, please, Douglas, swear her in.
All right, can I get you to raise your right hand, ma'am, please? You solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes.
Your Honor.
Okay. Can you scoot just a little bit down so that I can actually see her? Is there a chair you can sit in?
I don't mean to interrupt. It's just I feel like it's being not represented fairly. And my very first job ever was at a vet. I have nothing but experience with animals daycare. I've been grooming for over 11 years, and I know what I'm doing. And the whole problem is she neglected her duty as a responsible pet owner to have the dog neutered in the first place, and to have the dog.
Well, maybe she wants to breed the dog.
Adjusted to no, not breeding, neutered. She should have had it neutered because.
No, I know what you said, but you don't get to decide if she neuters her dog.
No,
you don't get to
I'm
decide
just trying
that.
to explain. It's hard because with grooming it goes into a bunch of stuff. Like if you have an unaltered male dog, their hormones are different, so their urine is different. It's more potent. It causes. If you've ever looked at a male dog that's unaltered, his sanitary area as he gets older becomes singed looking. That eventually happens over time, and then it can cause all this irritation because They just pee, and he's not housebroken. He did nothing but peed both times he was at the shop. He did nothing but peed, and we tried to explain to the first time.
I need you to take a breath a second. Nobody thinks you did something on purpose to the dog. I know you're upset, but you need, I know you do, but you need to listen to me. As skilled as a person could be, they could make a mistake. I'm telling you that the vet, stop and listen. I'm telling you that the vet saw a nick on the testicles and a nick on a nipple. So it's not like she is making that up. And also, I see the videos of the dog like in pain. I know it's an accident, but it's an accident that has to get paid for.
This dog was never, a dog should be properly introduced at 12 weeks of age to grooming, to be adapted to it. Otherwise, it's looked at as a punishment to a dog because you're throwing the dog in there. The dryers are loud. The bathing process can be scary. It's all something. You don't wait till you're 8 months old. We also have documentation before the dog ever came to us that she was concerned about his private areas. 8 pages of documentation from the vet before the dog ever saw us back the very first time it was ever groomed. It was never groomed in life until it was 8 months old, by the way. That's a big no-no.
Hold on. Take a breath. Oh, my Lord. Take a breath. Now, I want to see the documents that were just in your hand. Hold on one second.
This is all the vet stuff.
I've got it. Hold on. Switch places with your friend. Switch places, please. All right. This is before the grooming. The owner is concerned that the pet is licking everything himself. Owner would also like patient's penis looked at. She doesn't think anything is wrong, just hasn't had a boy dog before. So I'm not seeing what she wanted me to see. What did she want me to see?
Well, that was the part about her taking.
Oh, well, that doesn't say that. All right, look, guys, it happens, okay? You take your dog to get groomed, and your dog immediately, you look and there's cuts on the dog. Immediately, you take the dog to the vet.
But she
didn't see anything. There's nothing else. Tell that person next to you to stop screaming. I mean it. We're in the middle of court right now. I can't just have her screaming every time she doesn't like what I say, all right? So it's easy. The harder part would be your part, which is I need to understand your counterclaim. Why would I make her pay you $950 for having to answer to something that I'm finding you culpable for?
I'm a single mom.
I know. That's what happens when you cut a dog. That's what happens.
Cut the dog. The dog caused the irritation.
Okay, I'm gonna need her out. She can't just, this isn't like a sports game where she can just yell from the background. She needs to step out. Have her step out, please.
I'm not being heard how I should be, and I'm not being able to be explained. And I'm sorry for that dog for having to be with her for the rest of his life because she is the one that has caused this. Ashley can play the now from her.
I'm done.
She never called me.
Turn them off. I'll just rule on the counterclaim without getting their testimony because I'm not going to get yelled at. I mean, I'd like to hear you testify about the counterclaim. But if she keeps yelling, we're just going to end this. So can you explain to me the defamation? That's the thing I'm the most concerned about. Where did she defame you?
Well, I just figured however many people she has told this instance to, because we, again, don't feel that it was caused by us. We feel like it was a secondary issue. So, like, the person she went to for the...
How did the 2 cuts happen to the dog? Right after getting groomed, the dog, according to the vet, saw the dog right on the same day that it got groomed. And there's a cut on the nipple and a cut on the testicles. How did it happen, do you think? By licking? You can't get a cut by licking. It's a nick.
Right. And if she would have seen it, she would have let Viola know that because she looks the dog over plenty of times. And if something does occur, she usually lets them know.
So the vet's lying. When the vet says that the nipple was cut and the testicle was cut, the vet's lying?
I didn't get to talk to the vet directly.
Yeah, well, I'm looking at it. You're guessing at the defamation, right? Because I thought she had posted something, or she didn't post anything, or...
Oh, no. It's just...
Okay.
Just who she's had to speak through so far.
Okay, she's entitled to speak. She has the right to speak. In fact, she has constitutionally protected free speech. If she lies about something or makes up something, that's different. So I don't care if she's told 500 people, and I don't care if she writes a review, because she's entitled to do that. People are entitled to do that. That doesn't make out a defamation case. Based on the incredibly quick response of Ms. Jones to take the dog to the vet that moment, which I would have done too if I'd seen my dog hunch like this inside of a car, I don't think that there's any question that this happened at your grooming place. I think it's an accident, but your partner seems to feel that she's infallible, and that's just not the case. If there had just been redness in the testicles, I understand. But we're talking about an actual nick both in the nipple and in the testicles. So no, I'm finding in Ms. Jones's favor in the $113.16 that she's asking, plus, of course, her court costs. And as for your lawsuit against her, I'm finding against you. Verdict for the plaintiff. Good luck, folks.
So it turned out to be a fascinating case. The plaintiff will get the $113 back. Ms. Rodersheimer, the defendant, let me ask you, what are you thinking right now?
I just feel bad for my groomer because she didn't get to, fully express herself. And she said that she reached out to Viola and explained the situation, but she didn't get to actually directly talk to her. So it would have been better if we could have figured this out of court in the long run.
Obviously, you failed in your attempt to get $950 in your lawsuit against her. That didn't work for you. What do you think about that?
Well, that just hurts. Another blow. Because of COVID, we've had to take time off, and the business is struggling already, so we had to take another full day off for the court. So,
okay. Miss Jones, let me know what you think about the outcome of the case. You must be elated now, because this turned out to be quite an argument that they were having, wasn't it?
Yes, you see, I just let them argue with themselves. I'm not going to argue with something that I have proof of. And this would have never happened if they would have just answered my call that same day when I called them. I should not have to call you 2 days in a row, 4 times, two times each day, and then you call me back on a Friday. No, this would have never happened. I just wanted to talk to y'all and see what happened. Didn't nobody call me? Because if somebody called me, we would not be going through this right now. I just wanted answers. That's all I wanted.
Well, thank you very much. Good luck to you and congratulations. Fascinating case. Let's see what the judges think. Here is another session now of After the Verdict.
Well, those pictures were hard to look at.
They were.
The photo, the video that you had of Cobi.
That actually made me feel even worse than the picture, believe it or not.
Right.
The dog looked like it was in such pain. I mean, you do not play with that plaintiff.
Oh, no.
She is not playing. You return her calls.
Oh, boy. Miss Jones, she hounded them
for
3 days, and she didn't get satisfaction, and she raced straight to the courthouse.
And that's it. Good for her.
Bang, bang.
You know,
right.
Maybe you should be returning the phone calls of someone. These are cell phones. I mean, it's not like they're not hearing her. Right. And, I understand, like, the groomer feels bad because she feels like she's being portrayed badly. But, accidents happen. I mean, it's not...
Absolutely. And she might be a great groomer, and I'm sure she loves animals.
She's a terrible witness. She can't shut up. She can't calm down, but she could be a great groomer.
And no one's perfect. There's no perfection in this world anyway. No. So we'll have to wait for the next, perhaps, to find out about that. But certainly the greatest manifestation of Ms. Jones' love for her dog, she's never going to groom him again.
She's never going to groom him again. Well, it's either that or not neutering him. I'm not sure.
No anything, right? He's in the clear.
So Greg wants to know this. Hey, Harvey, the community I live in hired a tree trimmer to cut some palm trees, and several limbs landed on his carport roof, damaging it. He saw them do it. They deny it, so what should he do? If there are witnesses, that's going to really help. If there is any kind of witness who saw immediately before, during, or after, that's going to be really relevant. But the other thing is this. If the guy's cutting trees down and cutting branches down, and there's a branch that lands on the neighbor's property, a lot of times judges can deduce what actually happened, and it's pretty clear that it must have been the tree trimmer, and if the tree trimmer did it negligently, the tree trimmer's responsible. And that will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case inside the courtroom.
These are the plaintiffs, Detarius Butler and Jonah Berger. Detarius says he purchased a 1998 Buick Park Avenue from the defendant. And when they took it to the DMV, they were told they couldn't register it because there was a problem with the title. The defendant's been giving him the royal runaround ever since. He also has another car of theirs, a Nissan, won't return it. And this guy's nothing but a scammer who must be stopped. They're suing for $894. The money they're now out. This is the defendant, Jason. He says the plaintiff, Detarius, filled out the paperwork on the title incorrectly. That's why he had a problem in the DMV. As far as the Nissan goes, the city was threatening to impound it because it didn't run and had no tags on it. So he picked it up to scrap, but the car has no title, and it's now been sitting in his lot for 6 months. Owe this guy all this money? For what? He's accused of a car catastrophe. The defendant has filed a countersuit for $2,465 for storage and tow costs.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case on the docket. The plaintiffs purchased a 1998 Buick Park Avenue from the defendant, but they couldn't register it because the title was hinky and the DMV rejected it. Now the defendant says the plaintiffs made a mistake in the paperwork and that's why they couldn't get it registered. It's the case of a car catastrophe.
Litigants have been sworn, Your Honor.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Butler and Ms. Berger. Mr. Butler was in the market for a car, sees the defendant's car advertised, and you decide to go over, take a look at it, you decide to buy it. What kind of car was this?
A Buick 1998 Park Avenue.
Okay, old enough to drink. And what did you pay for the car?
$1,800.
$1,800. And then there were some problems with the car when you got it from him. He's a mechanic. You actually own a tow company, sir? Is that accurate, Mr.
Yes.
Jason? All right.
Yes.
So he tells, according to you, he's going to fix the things that are wrong with it, right?
Yes.
And what is it you expected him to fix?
He fixed my tire rod, but my door handle, he haven't fixed that.
Okay. Now, according to you, you paid him some money for the door handle as well, but he never fixed it. And what was it you paid him for the door handle?
I gave him $20 to order it because I had ordered the wrong one, so I gave him $20 to order it and $20 to fix it.
Okay. And how did you give him this money? In cash?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have any receipts?
No, ma'am.
Like, who does that? Why do you hand cash? Well, who does that is a lot of my litigants. But, you know, cash doesn't leave this hand without a receipt coming into this hand. So you buy the car, a 1998 car from him for $1,800. Then you pay him to fix what's wrong with it. Then you pay him again. You pay him for something else. You decide that he should fix your girlfriend's windows. You talk to me, Ms. Berger. What was wrong with your electric windows?
My two front windows, they wouldn't go down, and they wouldn't go down or come up. So he told me, once Darius told me that he was a mechanic and he could fix it, we went over there so he could check it out and tell me what I needed to order for the windows. And that same day, I paid for the windows, and I paid...
How much did you pay?
Looking at it. I paid $25 for him to look at it, and $200 for the parts and the labor. I gave that to him cash.
Okay.
I have no receipt.
Okay. And now, did you get an estimate from him in writing?
No.
For the repairs? Nothing's in writing. Everything's just, and not even text.
No.
But wait, there's more. Then there's a problem with the title, Mr. Butler. According to you, there's a problem with the title, and what happens?
They said my title was messed up, and I did everything right.
How come? What was wrong with your title?
I think it was notarized or something like that. So they told me to take it back to the owner that I got the car from. And I called him. He didn't answer the first time. The second time I called him, he answered. Then he said he can get in contact with the person that he got the car from. Then he called him, and then he called me back. He said, I got a bad problem. The dude was supposed to...
to fix the title.
Yeah, supposed to fix the title and whatever. And then he came to my house. Then we agreed that he'd get the title in 2 days. So I gave him $185.
Another $185, and you gave him the title?
Yeah, I gave him $185 to get the title. He never asked for the title.
Okay, he didn't ask for the title. All right. Oh, no, but wait, there's more. Then you decide, while nothing's getting done, all these little contracts are being entered into, and things aren't moving forward, the next thing you do is you ask him about a car you wanted to junk. Talk to me about that. It's actually not even your car. It's your father's. The car is titled in your father's name, right, Ms. Berger?
Yes.
About that, we agreed on to scrap the car, so we agreed on to scrap it. He was supposed to come get the car that day and scrap it. He never said nothing about no storage or nothing, anything. We were supposed to go half on the money after the car get on scrap.
Right, but did your father sign over the title, Ms. Berger?
Yes, and he actually came to get the title that day before he came and got the car. He got the title.
Okay, let me hand the floor to you, Mr. Jason. What's going on here?
I mean, well, basically, the Buick, he bought that. The title was notarized. He was told to take the title, to make sure he put all his information on the title, his name, his address, everything on the title before he took it to the BMV. I told him, I said, if you don't fill it out, they are not going to put the title in your name. It has to be filled out before you go to them. He didn't do that.
Why,
he called
though?
me. With everything that was going on, I should have made sure all his information was filled out on the title before he left my possession with the car. That was my mistake.
Right, but the car wasn't even in your name.
No. The Buick was in my name.
If the title was in your name, why is it such a hassle to correct the title problem here?
I was waiting on the title from him. I told him I needed the old title so I could see where he screwed up so I could fix it. He never brought me the old title. He kept saying, oh, I'll bring it to you that night. And then when I went to meet it, she was supposed to have the title and never had it.
Right. So did you accept $185 to fix the title problem and then didn't take the title with you? You took the money, but not the title?
He had the title with him at work when she gave me the money to do the title work. I told him I wouldn't do it.
Okay, so she gave you $185.
No, she gave me $160.
Okay. According to you, she gave you $160 to fix the title. And then did she give you $225 to fix the windows?
She gave me money for parts for the window tracks on a different vehicle.
How much?
That was something completely different. She gave me $204.
And then did he give you $40 for the door handle?
He gave me $20 for a door handle, and he got the handle. The handle was with him when he left.
When you say she gave you $204, you know in the answer to the complaint, what you actually say is she gave you $249. You're not the kind of people who should be doing things off of memory.
That might have been that with tax. Like I said, I don't have it in front of me. I don't know exactly, but I thought it was 204. But it was with tax and everything like that, it probably was.
Let me ask you a question. How often are you in court where it wouldn't bother you to actually get the receipt and have it in front of you and know what you're talking about when you're getting sued? You know? Is this an everyday occurrence for you? I would think I would make you, exactly. I would think I would make you a little more nervous. All right. Now, let me ask you about the problem with the title. According to you, it was his fault. How are you going to prove that?
I mean, we won't unless we see what they did with the title. I don't know. I've never seen the
Let me see the title.
He has it.
Do you have the title to the Buick, Mr. Butler?
No, ma'am. They had gave me a new title for mine for the Buick.
So how did you get the new title?
I went to the BMV again, and they gave me the new title, and I had to pay for the new title, and they kept the old title.
All right, what happened with the car that you were picking up, Mr. Jason? What was the agreement you had with them about the car that they wanted you to junk?
I was going to go out and pick the car up, and we was going to scrap it and split everything down. We was going to split it all. And then I got stuck saying the title is no good. I have it here. It's not even in his name. I can't do nothing with it. It's been sitting here collecting storage for months.
Wait, what is wrong with the title that they gave you? Why didn't you notice it before you towed the car?
She told me he did not have it notarized all the way in his name.
Did her father sign the title over to you?
No, my name is nowhere on it. It's a notarized title. It's notarized into her dad's name. It's not even in his, that's what I'm saying. It's not even put all the way into her dad's name for him to sign the title over to nobody. It's in somebody else's name that they got the car from. And I didn't know that when we picked the car up.
Your father never registered the car, Ms. Berger?
I thought that he's registered the car because he got tax for the car. He just never got hard tax for the car, but he did have 30-day tax for the car.
It has to, the title can be notarized into somebody's name for them to get a temporary plate in the state of Ohio. But for them to get an actual hard tag, they physically have to take the title to the BMV and get a hard title put all the way in their name. And that's never been done on that car.
Yeah, everybody's jumping title. Nobody wants a car. Nobody's registering the car in their name. Now it's just going to get junked. But he doesn't have the authority to junk it based on this paperwork. So as far as that junk car, you're going to have to get that car from his place. You're going to have to get it towed. And if you don't get it towed by a certain date that I am going to proclaim now, then I am telling you, I'm giving you a judicial order that it's considered abandoned property. And then you can proceed. You know how to proceed on abandoned property, right?
Yes, yes.
So then you'll be able to do something with the car. But if you don't want him to be able to lay claim to the car as abandoned property, then you hustle, pay a tow company, and get the car back. You see? You understand what I'm saying, Mr. Butler? Because
yes, ma'am.
You can't junk two people ago's car. In fact, your father, Ms. Berger, can't junk a car that he also didn't title. All right? So I'm going to give you guys, how long do you need? 2 weeks should be plenty of time to make up your minds and get a tow. I'm going to give you 14 days from today. That's how we're resolving the Nissan issue. You have 14 days to go pick up that car. After 14 days, I am going to deem it abandoned property, and you proceed and do whatever you have to do in your state in order to junk a car that's abandoned on your lot. That's the Nissan. Let's talk about your counterclaim. You've got a counterclaim against them where you expect that they are going to pay you $2,465. $50 for 2 tires that, according to you, you put on the car that you can't do anything with. $125 for the tow, and $2,260 for 113 days of storage. Now, here's the thing. This doesn't happen to a more careful fellow because a more careful fellow wouldn't tow the car without looking at the title, right? And then you'd be out zero. Okay, 1. 2, he never asked you to tow the vehicle. You were doing a business deal where you would take the vehicle. It's not like he hired you for a tow. You were doing a business deal, which turned out to be a bad idea because everybody jumped title. No. You were going to be splitting the proceeds of the scrap. It was a business deal that didn't go through.
Right, it was like $500 to $700 is a big deal. That's how I make my living. So yeah, it is a big deal. That's why I should get my storage. The storage is legal. There's nothing wrong with what I'm charging storage. That's state law.
Did you ever send them a notice and tell them that they needed to come and get their property?
He was told yes. No, he was told he needed to pay.
No, that's not my question. We're going to talk about state law. Did you ever send him a written notice telling him that he had to pick up the property, that it was abandoned, that it's on your land, that he needs to pick it up?
You do that when you file. That's how I would have to file for a title, which costs me money to do.
Right.
And I have not done that
yet. Now that's fine.
Right, because I tried to give him the benefit of the doubt to do it right.
That's fine. But that's why you can't get storage. But don't worry, we're going to solve this problem in
I bet you I get my storage.
No, you can't.
Bet me.
Okay. So what do we have? We have a defendant who walks away, and we have the remainder of your case, which I will handle now. You know, he thought he was going to make a big payday off of you and get several $1,000s for storage for the problem with the Nissan. I know that that was just an honest mistake on your part. And I also know from looking at the series of texts back and forth that he just at some point just stopped responding to you until you finally threatened court. Because he sat there, he didn't answer about the windows, he didn't answer about clearing the title, and his song about the title, let's take a look at it. Because his position wasn't, you messed up the title. What he said to you was, it's going to take some doing. I need to set an appointment. The guy's out of town. Blah, 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 blah. He gave you a big song and dance about fixing the title. And then finally you get frustrated and you say, I'm going to take you to court, and then everything goes down the toilet. So let's talk about what happened. I find you to be credible on the $40. Did he give you a door handle or no?
No, ma'am. No, ma'am. I had ordered one, and he told me that it was the wrong size.
Okay, so you gave him $40 for that. You're telling me you gave him $225 for the electric windows, right? He doesn't even know. He said $204, and then when I read his answer, it's $249, but we know from you that it's $225. Then there's no well, he says it was $160, but I find his credibility to be in the toilet, and you say you gave him $185 to clear the title up. So that means you're out $450 right there. There are two things you want in addition to that. You want the $94 for the new title that you had to pay. And unless he can prove that the title problem was your fault, you get that $94 because it's a seller's obligation to give good title. It is complete guesswork on his part what was wrong with the title. And if all it needed was your signature, I'm pretty sure you would have just signed it. So there obviously was something wrong. You were able to get a new title at $94. Why? You just said it was lost? What'd you do?
I had women, I had to buy this. I had told them I had to go buy a whole new title. They told me, yeah, you're going to have to buy a new title and we're going to have to.
Why would you pay him $185 to fix a title if it's only $94 to fix the title?
Because I didn't know at the time because the DMV was closed. So he told me it was $185.
Okay. All right. Well, you're entitled to that $94 as well. So I'm ruling in your favor in the amount of $544. But as for the car that is on his property, you can't just make that someone else's problem. You have to either pick it up in the next 14 days from today, or I'm deeming it abandoned property. And then he can get rid of it somehow. But you're not going to get a piece of it if he gets rid of it then. He gets the whole thing. You see? You picking up what I'm putting down? So if you think there's actual value to it, go get that car towed back. And then your dad has to actually title in his name so that he can then junk the car. You understand me? You can't jump title like that. Nobody can do anything with it until somebody on your side. Okay. So pick up the car in the next 14 days. That's my verdict. And as for all the money you're out, I'm ruling in your favor in the amount of the $544. Let me ask you a question. How's the Buick running?
Oh, it's running good now.
Oh, good for you.
It's just my door handle's still not fixed.
Okay, go fix the door handle. I'm getting you your money back on that. All right, that's my verdict, $544, verdict for the plaintiff. And pick up the car or it's going to be deemed abandoned, the Nissan. All right, good luck.
Bunch of transactions here, the 98 Buick, the Nissan, the door handle to be fixed, etc., but nothing really in writing back and forth between the parties.
Yeah, bad idea.
Not a jot of information.
No.
The storage fees. On the counterclaim in this case, you had a massive counterclaim. Someone seeking the tow truck driver, mechanic was asking for over $2,000.
Right, but see, this isn't your average tow truck driver who tows a car and then someone leaves it on their lot. There's a mechanism for getting those charges.
Right.
All you have to do is prove that you gave the statutorily required notice, and that's just a certified mailing. I mean, I don't know why he's going on about how much that would cost him. He would just have to start the legal process. And what this was a business deal that then couldn't happen. I got an idea. Why don't you check the title before you towed the car?
Right. And always a nightmare to get your car towed to one of these impound lots. I actually had a car many years ago. I had an old Ford Mustang too. It had so much rust in the sides of it that one of the judges at the courthouse asked me if it had been in a shootout, right? So one day I'm driving that one down the road. The air conditioner is already broken. I'm living in South Florida. One window was smashed out of it. And I'm driving down the road.
Wait,
and all of a
why
sudden,
was the window smashed?
Because somebody stole a TV, from the seat.
You left the TV on the front seat?
Yes, the TV, I was going to work on a Saturday and I had to park on the street. The TV wouldn't fit in the trunk in the Mustang too, so I had to leave it on the seat.
In downtown Miami?
Yes, so I lost the window and the TV.
Wait, back up, because I know this story. The TV was broken.
Yes, it was
broken. So what'd you do as a precaution to make sure nobody would steal your TV?
Well, I just wrote with a magic marker, TV broken.
TV broken. And you thought that would save your window?
It didn't save the window. And the TV was broken. Somebody got a broken TV.
And you got a broken window.
Right. And then I'm driving that car down the road. One window's gone, the air conditioner's broken, and all of a sudden I see a wheel rolling by to my left. And I'm driving thinking, look at that, somebody lost a wheel. And all of a sudden, wham, the car falls onto the brake drum and I'm sliding down the middle of the roadway. And it was my wheel. How about that? So that car, when it got towed, the cost of the tow plus like 2 or 3 days storage by the time I had gotten what I thought was enough money together was more than the car was worth.
So what'd you do?
They got the car. I gave them the title.
You just handed over the car.
You can have it.
And they didn't insist on you paying anything else?
No. They just said, okay, fair deal.
So Jill wants to know this. Hey, Harvey, what happens when someone refuses to take the oath, either for personal or religious reasons? So, you know, it used to be that the oath always said, so help you God at the end. And there are a lot of people who don't want to swear to God in court. So what they do is they will give you the option of affirming. So they'll say, do you promise to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Do you affirm that? you have to say yes in order to testify. If you don't, you just cannot testify because there have to be consequences that get imposed by that swearing. So if you don't do it, the judge is not going to let you take the stand and testify. We'll see you next time.